Hi, my name is Reagan, and I was diagnosed with Pectus Excavatum in 2013.
Pectus excavatum is the most common sort of chest wall condition that we see. And if you think of your chest cavity as a cylinder, within this cylinder there's appropriate space for lungs to expand, the heart to be able to pump. If you then decrease that, there could be a critical point where your lungs are not going to be able to function as efficiently.
As a girl, I always was on the swim team, and being on the pool deck, you don't really have anywhere to hide because you're in a suit. And I remember like my teammates or other girls just always coming up to me and being like, "Why is your chest like deeper than mine?" Or "Why is your chest going farther? Why does your suit stick out a little more?" And I would look down and I wouldn't have an answer because it all looked so normal to me.
Well, I think we always knew that she had a deformity in her chest ever since she was a child, but it was always very minor. It was only when she hit puberty that the defect became a little bit more significant.
When she was 13, I believe, we took her to see her pediatrician for her regular yearly checkup, and her pediatrician, at that point, we asked if there was anything medically that needed to be done about it, and she said she didn't think there was, that she would research it. She got back to us a couple of weeks later, finding out that Cincinnati Children's Hospital had a Pectus program that she should get into.
So my patients have to bring in 3 jokes. I don't care how old they are. So I make a big deal about it, and I make such a big deal about it that I've had some children, some patients coming in for Pectus that actually demanded their parents drive home because they forgot their jokes. The jokes is somewhat of a spin-off on distraction theory, to the extent that you're focused on trying to stump Dr. Vic. Well, to diagnose the excavatum, one is, usually it's apparent just from exam. You can see it as an indentation. Now, we all have a little bit of a Pectus excavatum, right? So not everyone who has a Pectus excavatum gets it. The consensus now is that normal indentation, the measurement, we can go into that, is around 2.3, 2.4. Anything 3.4, 3.5 or above is considered clinically significant. The unfortunate part of that is that Pectus excavatum is the one condition, as opposed to Pectus carinatum, that with an increase in severity of it, you have shortness of breath, you can have compression of the heart.
The MRI test showed us that my chest indentation was a 15, which meant it was relatively severe.
Surgery is an adverse experience. One of the challenges about surgery is not just being competent, but also compassionate.
When correcting pectus, a doctor will usually insert 1 or 2 bars underneath the rib cage to prop the ribs up like braces. This helps to improve the patient's lung capacity and heart function, making the patients healthier than before.
If you're going to have it corrected, the recovery is much better when you're younger as opposed to when you're older. This is not to say when the operation is a walk in the park. If anything, it's one of the more painful operations that we do here.
I think it was both. It was scary and it was exciting. Because, it was scary because, it's surgery. There's always the fear that something might go wrong. But I was scared that I wouldn't be able to swim the same again or play my trumpet the same again. But I was also excited to just be healthy again.
I would say that we've done well over 500 here. We've done quite a few. And the makers of the bar tell us that we're one of the busiest in the country.
Well, how long? It felt like hours. It felt like a lifetime. But I think the actual surgery really only took about 3 or 4 hours, but it did what you thought, but it certainly felt like a lifetime.
It felt like a long day. We were there in the afternoon, so as the waiting room emptied out and we were the last ones waiting.
I remember when I woke up, it was really hard to breathe and to move for that matter because everything was so different. I used sign language a lot to communicate within the next few days because I couldn't speak very well, especially to get water.
During the recovery in the hospital, the hardest part was at the point where they took her epidural out, and for about an hour where she was transitioning back to oral pain meds. It was a long, painful hour. That was probably about the worst part.
Just seeing her not be able to do anything, being very helpless, couldn't move, didn't want to move because she was in pain, was probably the worst part. But you know, the good part of that is the team really kept a great eye on her and really prepared us that that was what was going to happen. And you know, although we thought, you know, she was going to be in pain for weeks, it really was very, very quick, and she got over it, you know, much faster than they even thought it was going to happen. So.
In the hospital, they very much gave us a good idea of what to expect from day to day. So we really didn't have any surprises, but the best part was watching the improvement each day as Reagan got back to her normal life.
Nothing troubles me more than to see a child in pain. We are now sort of exploring alternative or complementary medicine. I use the ability to meditate beforehand, and how that's been shown in other venues to actually reduce the amount of pain medication one needs.
I think the best one was probably when my friend came to visit me. She kind of walked in and just like laughed. I was Oompa Loompa orange from the surgical scrubs. My hands were swollen from the IVs. I couldn't move very well, and it was one of my better moments, so let's just say it was a lot of entertainment for everyone.
A lot. She had to be walked separately in the hallways. She can't bump into her because of the ribs, because of the bars in the ribs. And she couldn't laugh. She couldn't talk sometimes. She couldn't breathe sometimes well. She couldn't sneeze well. She can't sneeze at all, so it hurt her bars. And I'm a jokester, so laughing, was a good thing.
The wand was our solution to a way for Reagan to call me in the middle of the night when she needed some help rolling over or sitting up or just to move. We couldn't find a bell or anything else to make a gentle noise in the middle of the night, so we found a princess wand that we had gotten at Disney, so I would wake up in the middle of the night to a
They're actually very simple to take them out. Not that I would suggest doing it at home or in the garage. It's an outpatient procedure. You come in, you have go under anesthetic, make an incision right over where the ends of the bars are. I'll have to embellish this because then you make it sound difficult, but it's not that difficult. You just make a little incision, you slide the bar out. Typically, they stay in dependent on your age. So for the adults, the bars stay in 5 to 7 years. For younger kids, it'll be 3 years at least. We don't have the luxury of having a retainer once we take the bar out. When the braces come off, right? When your braces come off, you can put a retainer in. So we don't have that ability to do this with the Pectus procedures. Well, I mean, I'll just quote the nurses. What they said is that she is advanced in her demeanor department for her age, and also very entertaining. I think that Reagan was I want to say sui generis. Yeah, so you were one of a kind, but you were very, you did extremely well.
8 ounces of metal and a lot of looks going through the airport security line. But no, I think one of the best things that we've seen is really our daughter growing through this, seeing her from before where she was self-conscious about the deformity, having the shortness of breath and having the physical manifestations of the pectus, and now actually seeing her go through a very, I would say, very difficult situation and making the best of it and growing through it, and now knowing that she has accomplished such a big feat and that nothing else could be any more difficult.
She knows she can handle anything at this point.
I decided to make this documentary because it's my 3-year anniversary, and we were asked by our government teacher to give back and do something we were passionate about to raise awareness or change the world in some way. And I wanted to give back to the people who had given so much for me and so much to my life. I want all those people who don't know they have it to know what pectus is and know that they have it. I didn't know I had it until we avidly looked for it. And Pectus is serious, but there's a ton of people here to support you. Your body image doesn't make up who you are. To have confidence in you and yourself. My gills are my scars from my surgery. They are my pride and joy. I love them so much. Me and my friends and family call them my gills because scars are hard to embrace, so I decided to make up a story for them, and being a swimmer was the perfect excuse. No, I love my pectus. It's made me who I am today.